back in the Isles of Scilly, having first come here a few years ago, and that was a 48-hour whistle-stop tour of St Mary's, and I'll put what went on in the box. I promised myself last time, because I enjoyed myself so much, that I would return, and well, here I am, and this time I'm going to spend a little bit more time here and fully immerse myself in the delights that the Isles of Scilly has to offer, and if possible, go and explore some of the outlying islands in this archipelago. So if you're still interested, why don't you join me? Wandering around on an archipelago is you can't really guarantee the weather, and the Isles of Scilly gets the best and worst of it. Currently it's a bit South Downs way-esque, and during the week it's going to be a 40-mile-an-hour wind, so I'm told, but it doesn't really matter, the sights are still there. So for any of you who have never been here before, this is my brief knowledge of where the islands are. So I'm currently sat or stood on St Mary's. Right over there with the lighthouse is Round Island. Following across to the island with the trees, which is Tresco, Bryher, and then this hilly bit is Sampson. And then if you come all the way across to the other island over there with the lighthouse, that's it, Agnes. One of the key things about this place is that it's littered with prehistoric burial mounds. This is probably one of the best ones. St Agnes, and as you've seen, I've had to get one of the ferry boats, the ferry taxis, to get here, and those taxis take you all over the different islands on the Isles of Scilly. You've got to go down to the quay in order to get the boat, and it costs about £13 here, and it takes about 20 odd minutes or so depending on the weather. Now, around the town of St Mary's, there are little chalkboards and notice boards that tell you what times the boats are actually going, and because of the tides and the weather conditions and what have you, you can't pre-book, so you must turn up on the day and basically take your chance. Now, this island is connected to another one called Gugh, which is that one over there, and it's connected by the sandbar. And that sandbar clearly floods at times of the day, so you've got to be very, very careful as to what time you go over there, because if you get caught over there and your taxi boat turns up, well, you're not going home. So weather's great today. Let's get some exploring done. St Agnes Lighthouse, and over there the famous Bishop's Rock. Back on St Agnes now. Now you may well think that this is the path, but no, it's the main ring road. What I haven't talked about currently, I don't think, is how to get to Scilly. Well, you start off by making it easy on yourself and travelling down to the southwest portion of the UK, Cornwall. And once you're there, you can get to Scilly one of three ways. Starting at Penzance, you can get the Scillonian passenger ferry. It's a foot ferry. They don't take vehicles over to the islands. The good thing about the ferry is that they will take your bags from you, and when you get to the Scilly Islands, they will take them to wherever it is you're staying, and that's all part of the service. Great little service that I used it last time. The downside is that if the weather is bad, trust me, you'll know about it. The journey takes anywhere from 2.5 hours through to 4 hours. And that depends on whether the sea or the weather conditions, shall I say. Now, I've had good sailings coming to the Scilly Islands, but everyone else I've spoken to has very different views, trust me. Now, you can park your car at Penzance, one of the many parking locations. I've chosen this one, the iOS parking, which has the park and ride. It's a secure compound and it's very reasonably priced. And if you speak to Richard, he's the chap who runs it, he's very, very amenable. Plus, he will drop you down to the quay so you can catch the ferry, or take you to the second location, which is Land's End. Now, at Land's End, you can get on the Skybus. Now, this is a small prop plane, holds around 17 people. Clearly, it's more expensive than the ferry, but you are paying for convenience. It's a 15 to 20 minute flight. Now, a word of warning, if the weather is bad, the flight can either be delayed and even cancelled. And if that's the case, you're on the ferry. Now, don't be thinking it's plain sailing. The plane does catch the crosswinds a bit, and it could take more than one attempt to land. Any more than 2 attempts and you're back to Land's End and back on the ferry. Now, luggage wise, due to the fact that it's a smaller plane, you can't get away with the weight restrictions that you would normally get on a normal passenger plane. It's significantly smaller, so be warned. Everything has got to go in the hold, and you're only allowed very small items of carry-on. You can also get the Skybus from Exeter and Newquay, but I'm not sure of what occurs there. The third one is the helicopter, which you can get from Penzance. Now, I'm not sure about the cost of the helicopter, but it is helicopter prices. But it really doesn't matter how you travel. You book what you think is best, dependent on your price point. But once you're here, it's stunning. Welcome to Tresco. Got a full day here. Loving it so far. I believe that this might be a privately owned island, the details of which I'm not sure, so if I'm wrong, don't shoot the messenger. However, it is famed for a particular gardens. It's got lots of tropical plants and what have you here, and also it's a claim to have the best beaches on the archipelago. It's worth a look. So you can see how low the tide is. Now this week in particular, the tides are quite low, and tomorrow, because of the low tides, there's an organised event which unfortunately, due to the passing of Her Majesty, has been cancelled. But it's a yearly event whereby the tides are that low you can walk from Tresco across to the other island of Bryher. Bit of a shame, but in the circumstances, it's what it is. This is the hustle and bustle of the Isles of Scilly. Currently stood on Watch Hill. In front of me may well be the crossing point from Bryher over to Tresco. But we'll wait till the tide goes out. it seems that the tide has gone out long enough for me to make this walk. It's brilliant. That is Bryher. And that is Tresco. This is what I came here this week to do. Epic. Well, that was really good. Bryher to Tresco on foot. Exactly what I came here for, and it's that good. I'm going back. Wet and windy start to my last day of exploration on these islands, but we all know rain doesn't stop play for me. I'm on St Martin's. The main places on St Martin's are Lower Town, Middle Town and Higher Town. And just so you're not confused, this is the only road. If you've ever wondered what one of these things is, it's called a day mark, and they're used to assist pilots and sailors with navigation during the day. I said a few years ago that this place was that good, I'd have to return, and I've done that now. It's one of the best things that I could have done. The Islands of Scilly, what can I say that hasn't already been said? Well, nothing. The mere fact of it is, I can't extol its virtues enough. You're just going to have to come here and experience it for yourselves. Each island has its own character, very unique. And all of them are well worth a visit and spending some time here as well. Everything from those islands to the beaches and the food. Scilly is definitely worth a visit on your bucket list if you have one. So journey over for me soon. On to the next one.